Evening, everyone. So I think in recent days and recent weeks, we open up the Tanakh. A lot of passages and a lot of chapters and a lot of books suddenly have a new meaning. We know the Gemara Megillah tells us that Kol Nevuah Shutzracha Ledorot Nichteva. Any nevuah which was chosen to be which was included in the Tanakh is relevant for all generations. That's why it's there. There are many other nevuot which are not included because they were relevant only for their time. Whatever is included in the Tanakh was relevant for its time and for our time, and for all times. And that's why it's there. And I think now, in this period that we're in, reading through, but we go through the Siddur, we go through Tehillim, we go through the Parashat HaShavua, you go through the books of Nach, the Milchamot, of David HaMelech, etc. And suddenly we can see it all in a new light. So last week we were talking about Tehillim Pei Gimel, which is this Mizmor that deals with war. And tangentially, we mentioned the Midrash that talks about four different kings of Yehuda and their responses to war and how they waged war and what divine assistance they asked for. So I wanted to look a little bit more at this Midrash. Very, very interesting. 4 different kings and looking at their qualities and try and see what the message is from it and what the message is for us today. One of the challenges and difficulties when we learn Midrash is that we learn the text, we learn the psukim of the Tanakh from the Midrash itself. That's not the way it's meant to be. The Midrash had in mind that when you're learning the Midrash, you already know the psukim and you know the stories. So without having the context of what it's actually talking about, it's very difficult to understand adequately. But let's go through and let's try and understand a little bit more of the context and what's being said. So it says, this is a Midrash in Eicha Rabbah. The pasuk in Eicha talks about Lo Heminu Malchei Aretz. The kings of the earth couldn't believe when the Churban took place. So based on that, the Midrash goes into a discussion about different kings of Yehuda, and it says as follows. It says Arba'a Melachim Hayu. So there were 4 kings. There were more, but we'll talk about 4. Ma shetava zeh lo tava zeh. So that which one requested. Today, tava, you'd say demand, but I'm not sure that demand is the appropriate translation, but one which they requested, which they prayed for, which one asked for, is not what the other one did. Meaning we had 4 kings and 4 different modes of operation, 4 different types of request for divine assistance. So the first one is David HaMelech. Elohein David, Ve'asa, Ve'yoshaphat, Ve'chizkiyahu. These are the 4 kings. So David Amar, and it quotes the pasuk from Tehillim, and this is a pasuk which we've heard said a lot, and it's quite something to see. Many of the commanders and many of the generals in the army go in, and they're saying Shema Yisrael. They're saying these pasukim. It says David HaMelech said, "El dof oivai v'asigem v'lo ashuv ad chalotam." David HaMelech said, "I will go. I will chase after my enemies. I will reach them. I won't come back until I've destroyed them. I'll go out and fight. Go out and fight until we've achieved victory to the last one, essentially." Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, ani oseh ken. Okay, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to him, yes, I'll agree, I'll do it. Okay, what's he asking? What's he asking him to do? David HaMelech seemingly is saying, I'll do everything. By the way, for those who say, those who might think that going out and fighting and waging war is not a Jewish way of action, this is David HaMelech. But so he says, the Midrash explains, what did he ask for? Adu dichtiv, vayakem David ma'aneshef va'ad ha'erev lemachulotam. Lemachulotam is a very strange word. Normally you say lemachar, lemachorat. What is lemachoratam? So we'll see. If we have time, we'll look in the psukim as well. But towards the end of Shmuel Aleph, the story is told of David HaMelech going to war, and he's fighting. It begins in the evening. Ad ha'erev lemachoratam. The understanding here is that he fought for Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi Amar lishnei leilot v'yom echad. So he was fighting here for 2 nights, and the day began in the evening, fighting through the next day and through the night as well. What?
Sounds like a shlomo.
Okay. Haya Kadosh Baruch Hu me'ir lo baleilot bazikin uvrakin. They didn't have flares in those days, so Kadosh Baruch Hu would light up the night for him with the lightning, in order so that he could see, so that he could fight adequately. We're not short of, we know places in Tanakh where the day was made longer or miracles were done so that the fight could continue. So yeah, essentially, it's less of a revealed miracle, but David HaMelech is saying, I'll go and I will fight. I need the assistance from you. Just, make the weather conditions right. Give me some light. Give me the ability, but I'll go and I'll fight and I'll do that. But that's the help I need from you. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says yes, says Ani oseh ken. So that is number one. היה קדוש ברוך הוא מאיר בלילות וזיקין ברקים כמד את תנינן תמן על הזיקין ועל הזוועות ועל הברקים. Okay. And it quotes another pasuk from Tehillim, from that same parak. It says ki ata ta'ir neli, you'll light up the night for me. Okay, that's number one. It's David HaMelech. Number two is Asa. What happened over here? So Amad Asa v'amar ani ein bi koach la'arog lahem ela ani rodef otam v'ata oseh. So Asa says, okay, Ribono Shel Olam, I have, again, the expression ein bi koach, I don't have the strength, I don't have the ability, I don't have the power to go and kill them. I don't have the power to vanquish the enemy. I can go and I can take out the army. I can go and I can chase, but then you have to do the rest. So we'll go and we'll still go out and fight, go out and lead the army chase towards the enemy, but I can't overpower them. That Hashem, you have to do. Amar lo, ani oseh. The Baruch Hu says, okay, I'll do it. These kings, Hashem answers them. So he says, the pasuk says, "Vayidafem asa v'gomer." It doesn't say lifnei asa in ktiv, ela lifnei Hashem v'lifnei machanehu. And it says the army was struck down before Hashem and before his camp. Right? Whose camp? Can be the camp of Asa, the camp of Hashem. In other words, he did the first half already. Here it's a little bit more miraculous. Maybe more miraculous, maybe less miraculous. We have to talk about that. But that's less is being done physically by the king and by his army, more being done by Hashem. The third king, and this is what we saw in Mizmor Pei Gimel. There are many Mefarshim who understand that this is related to this subject of King Yehoshaphat. Amad Yehoshaphat ani ein bi koach lo la'arog v'lo lirdof. He says, not only I can't kill them, I can't chase them, I can't fight them, I can't do any of that. Ela ani omer shira v'ata oseh. I'm going to sing Shira. We're going to lead the people. We're going to daven. We're going to say Tehillim. We're going to say Shira, and you do the rest. שנאמר, ובעת החלו ברינה ותהילה וגומר. Then the Psukim describe over there how all these nations, which they've been ambushed and they've been surrounded from all sides. We saw it in Tehillim, all these different armies coming up against them, and we'll see what happens over there miraculously. But again, they are victorious. They didn't even fight back, just sang Shira. And then comes the last king. Amad Chizkiyahu v'omer, ani ein bi koach lo la'arog, lo lirdof, v'lo la'amar Shira. Chizkiyahu HaMelech says, I can't go out and fight. I can't go out and chase them. I can't go out and kill them. I can't even sing Shira. Right? And again, when you understand the context of the Psukim and the story of what's being told in the Tanakh, the Midrash will make so much more sense. To wait for tomorrow for that. But he says, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to lie in my bed. And you'll do. The Baruch Hu says, so it will be, I'll do it. And that's the story in Sefer Melachim. The camp of Ashur, which was besieged the city, and they all died, and that was it. So those are the four kings, and those are the four different responses they had. What we see in this Midrash, each one asked for Hashem for a different type of divine assistance, and each one got it. Now, there's a lot of discussion amongst the Mefarshim and later authorities. What is the point of the Midrash? What is it trying to teach us? That maybe we'll look at tomorrow.